Hi guys, so today we're going to be going over LeetCode problem 14, longest common prefix, and I honestly think this one's pretty simple, so I'm just going to be going over it really quickly and explaining what we do and why we do it. Essentially, this problem is just giving us a list of strings, and we need to return the longest beginning part that each word shares, and that's just essentially the prefix. So for flower, it's F and L, and these obviously don't share any common prefixes, so it's just gonna output an empty string. So the way we're gonna solve this is we're just gonna assume that the first word is the prefix, and we're gonna go through every other word. While the current word doesn't start with the prefix, we're just gonna keep chopping off the end of the prefix, and if you shrink it down to nothing, it's just going to return like an empty string. And if it's going to survive all the comparisons, that's just going to be our answer. Line by line explanation. So we're just going to start and we're going to do. And essentially what we're doing here is if the list is empty, we're just going to return nothing to compare. So if there's nothing, absolutely nothing in the list, it's just going to return nothing to compare. So yeah, that if that's the case. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do. And what we're doing here is we start by assuming the prefix is the first word in the list, and we'll only shrink it down if it's needed. So right here, I just created a for loop, and we're just going to loop through the rest of the words in the list. So we're going to start from index 1, since we're assuming that the first word, index 0, is going to be the prefix. Next, we're going to create a while loop, so we're just going to do while not where dot starts with prefix. And what we're essentially doing here is if the current word doesn't start with our current prefix, that means that the prefix is too long, and we're going to chop it down. So we'll just do prefix equals prefix. And we're just shrinking the prefix by removing the last letter, so flowers becomes like, let me make a comment actually. So flower will become, flower is going to become, and it's going to become flow, and then so there's a common prefix. Next, what we're going to do is, and then essentially what this does is if there's no common prefix and the prefix becomes empty, that means no common prefix exists, and we're just going to return an empty string. And then at the end, we're just going to do and let me run this. And it runs. So yeah, this is a great problem using loops and conditionals and strings if you're a beginner, and how to use starts with. We learned how to shrink and splice a list, and we know how to loop through a list of strings. Thank you for watching!